billion for the remainder of the fiscal and another $100 billion next year is a fly on an elephant. And the reality is that you said, well, we made these promises.
But let me give you a brutal reality.
I understand. Look, no, you've made these promises. Okay, I heard you say that.
I've made these promises. What are you talking about?
Congress has made these promises to the baby boomers and to the retirees. They're physically impossible to keep. So when you say we have to keep those promises, I say to you, the checkbook's empty, you can't refill it. What are you going to do about that?
And that's what we're here to discuss. Unless you want to come up here and believe this. Because I'm going to tell you something. And look, and you know what? In this country, you can run for Congress. I went straight from small business to Congress. So, you know, I think, but the one thing I don't want, okay, is I don't want us to violate respect. All right? Fair enough. Okay? So I want to, let me get through this, and then we can get into an all-out brawl. Or, do what?
It went over Channel 8. At the beginning, they said they wanted to give a presentation. As Forsher tirade on the graph, he was explaining that. The graph showed it. You wasted 5 minutes of everybody's time going with your great economic theory about the graph. So the graph explains it. People aren't investing, unemployment's going up. You ran it about it for 5 minutes. Waste of time. Let the gentleman finish their thing. I don't agree with everything they do. I don't agree with Congress ruling or the second continuing resolution. But let them finish their presentation. Take notes of what you want to add and ask at that time. Everybody interrupted isn't doing squat for this meeting. Time out. I'm talking. I'm standing. They also said, stand, identify yourself. We've got about a dozen people that are talking from their seats and haven't followed the basic ground rule. Why don't we all shut up, let them finish the presentation, and then we'll ask questions.
I know everybody, thank you. I know everybody's frustrated. No more frustrated than I. Okay? So frustrated I decided to run for Congress. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? I mean, why? Look, I serve my families and my business. I perpetuate my family's business, and I don't want to sit on my rear end because we all know to make sure that evil triumphs, good men just do nothing. And so what I did is I threw my hat in the ring and I ran for Congress. Never served in an elected position, and I say that to you, and you go, sir, you have the right. You're self-funded, wealthy. Run for Congress.
Mr. Sutherland, I don't want you.
Look, I got to tell you, I know this is disappointing to you. In many ways, I don't want this job. I think that's why I'm here. I think that's why I'm here. Okay? I'm trying, sir. I'm trying. God knows I'm trying. All right, we're done.
I'm so glad you let me come here tonight.
Welcome to District 2, Jeff.
This is important, and we both have been going around the district meeting with folks. I was up in Century. I think I probably had 30 people. They came and they had a lot of the very same issues, concerns that you've got. Unemployment, spending, what are we going to do? And I think the most important, I agree with what Steve said. It is not Congress's job to create jobs. It's not. It's to provide an environment in which jobs can flourish. So, I thought you almost had your hand up.
Before we all get into a totally difficult, I'm Mary Robinson. I am Director of Transportation Planning for the West Florida Regional Planning Council, and I staff 3 transportation planning organizations, State, County, Florida, Alabama, and Georgia law. Very minor question in comparison to all of these things that will be discussed shortly.
think Jeff will probably defer to me because I serve on the Transportation Committee. Chairman John Micah, our colleague from Central Florida, chairs Transportation. I was thrilled to have an opportunity to be on the Transportation Committee. It was my third committee, and Jeff knows he came to me and asked me to consider that, because Jeff is our Florida Steering Committee representative. So committee assignments occur because of our steering committee. So, but as far as I know, we just got through with the FAA bill, and so that's been the focus of transportation up to this point. And all I can tell you on the transportation bill is Chairman Micah wants more than anything in the world to produce a transportation bill this year in the 112th Congress. So, and that's, the FAA bill has been our focus up to this point, but I know that that's now off our table. I know that we'll be moving towards the transportation bill. So I just take him at his word. He is not happy that it's been, oh my gosh, a long, long time since we've had the reauthorization done. So I think, I don't know any other way to answer that, knowing that I've heard Chairman Micah say on numerous occasions, we will get this done in this Congress. So, good question. Sir.
I'm Terry Shoemaker, Okaloosa County Fair Tax Coordinator for the Fair Tax Education Association, for Long Beach Tea Party, and for Long Beach Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to invite you.
Why are you walking towards me? Green.
And I let him get by me.
Well, they're going to get by you.
Back to your question. What I'm asking you.
Your folks were in my office yesterday. Why do I think I bet you know that?
I'm asking you to join with 55 other. I'm asking you to join 55 other congressmen and senators to sign on to the or co-sponsor HB 25, the Fair Tax Act, and S13, the Fair Tax Act. And join Congressman Miller, and who has already done that.
Thank you for the invitation. I have both books.
There's some life-size markers.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I know Rob very well from Georgia, good man, wonderful colleague. I want you to say we had a wonderful conversation yesterday, probably the most in-depth conversation that I've been able to have with Fair Tax in my office. It was very good. So learning more, and had some great questions back and forth, and their guys sworn out for me, and so thank you for your kindness. Thank you. I will. Thank you. And I do have the book, so I'll let you.
Your constituent, Terry Gallows, his constituent, Terry Gallows, retired lieutenant colonel, resident of Destin, gives one of the best fair tax presentations, and I've included that in the book.
Thank you. I will tell you this, I vehemently disagree with our current tax code. It drives me nuts. It's laborious. If you have 300 tax preparers prepare your tax filing, you'd have 300 different opinions. So it's complicated, it's ridiculous, and I'll give you that. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, how are you?
I'm Sally Bryant from Knoxville. I would just like to speak against the fair tax. We already have enough entitlements in this country without sending a check to every family across the nation every month. And once they start getting those checks, I don't want to give them up.
Isn't this a great country?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. She asked where was welfare. Can I take that?
Sure.
The question is, why do we always focus on Social Security and Medicare? You don't hear a lot of conversation about welfare or other entitlement programs that may be out there. First of all, absolutely nobody is talking about cutting Social Security for you or anybody that is receiving a benefit now. Nobody has laid anything on the table yet. There have been discussions that have been put out basically for folks that are under the age of 50, pushing the retirement age out a couple of years. But I can promise you, President Clinton would not have signed welfare reform had the class of 94 and 95 pushed him so hard. We want to get people to work. The same thing you said about debt, people being enslaved by debt, they can also be enslaved by entitlements. And that is the thing that we do have generations that have grown and been in public housing and everything. In fact, there are some people that make more money, I say make money, get more from the government than folks that go out to work. Child care, education, housing, allowances, medical, you go down the list. And that is what this country, as much as some people may want to be able to provide that, we're broke. We don't have it anymore. We just don't have it. We're past the point of doing what we would like to do. This country is now at a point where we can only do what we have to do. And that is going to be a very large debate in Washington. You talked about the minuscule numbers of 60 billion and 100 billion. We can't even get the Senate to take it up. You can't even get the Senate to give us back an answer to H.R. 1.
And I share Jeff's aggravation, okay, because the people that you really need to be screaming at is a gentleman that's up for re-election next year.
So when I understand that,
Okay.
the point that I wanted to make about the presentation of the graphs, that when you look at those graphs, the Medicare issue is one that, if it is not solved, will bankrupt the country.
Yes.
Right? There is no way around this. And to say that it's not going to get anybody under the age of 50, or over the age of 50.
I said Social Security.
Okay.
I said Social Security.
Social Security is small ball.
I said Social, please.
Okay.
Yes, sir. In the back.
Understood.
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Name.
Why is, my name's Jason.
Jason?
Why is it even the responsibility of the government to provide anything for anybody? This is a capitalistic nation. We're supposed to be making our own money. We're supposed to be dealing with our own problems. We can provide our own Medicare if we want it. If we want to go, 100 years ago, we didn't have a medical system like we've got with insurances and all this.
It wasn't 100 years ago. It was 30 years ago.
It wasn't, that long ago that, hey, we could just go down to the doctor in our own community and he could help us with our problems. But now, we've got to have insurances to cover it. We've got to be covered. We've got to go to the hospital, and if you, God forbid, go to the emergency room, you're going to be slapped with thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that you can't need. Why in God's name do they need that? And aside from that, we're supposed to be making our own money. Save up for it. Do it ourselves. That's what this nation is about.
Personal responsibility, man.
Absolutely.